Hello everybody, happy Saturday. Shannon with Main Street Homestead doing another live. It's a little bit late coming, going over the types of pepper varieties that I'm gonna have starts available for one, and a few other things that I potentially may have available, and just a general update. So before I get started, I did already do a live video for the tomato varieties that I'm gonna have. If you did not see that, I do, after the lives are done on Facebook, I know sometimes it's hard to go back and find them because they get buried down in the feed. So I do share the Facebook lives over to my YouTube channel. So if you do want to rewatch the tomato variety video, the live is on my YouTube channel, which is Main Street Homestead. At Main Street Homestead, so you can go there and find it. I will try to drop the link to that YouTube video in the comments for this live today. As I said, this live we're going to be going over pepper varieties that I'm going to have available, some that I might have available, and I will start, I will explain that when I get there. And then a few other things that I'm kind of looking for input on, if anybody's interested in them. If I get some positive feedback that people are interested in those plants or starts, then I may do some, but if nobody's interested, I'm not gonna waste my time. So let's get started. So some of these, I thought, you know, I should sort these by hot, sweet peppers, blah, 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 but it ended up, the piles that I have are the ones that I've already sown the seeds and the ones that I have yet to sow the seeds, and I did not want to mix those up. So they're not sorted by heat level of the peppers. So we're going to start with the varieties that I have already sown that I should have some available for purchase in the spring for plant starts. So first of all is a poblano pepper. We eat a lot of these. I freeze them. We make green chili. We do a lot of stuff with them. Chinese 5-color. This is I'm going to say semi-hot pepper variety. I mean, it's not like Scotch bonnet or ghost pepper blazing hot, but it is a hot pepper, so it depends on your heat tolerance. But the plants are really pretty because they do put on all of these different colors. They're not very big. The peppers themselves are only about 1 inch to 2 inches, but I do use these for hot sauce. I dry them. I do a lot of other stuff with them. They're just super pretty if you're going to have them in pots on your patio. Also serranos. I grow a lot of serranos. I used a ton of these for salsa and stuff this year, so I should have some serranos available to buy. Tam jalapeno, which is a mild, I wouldn't say super mild, I would say medium mild jalapeno. It's not a hot jalapeno. It has less heat than a regular jalapeno, so these tend to be popular. Corbachis. So look at this picture. They look scary. They are not scary. I actually love these peppers. They are a sweet pepper. Some of them get long and curly. Some of them could be this long. They are different shades of yellow, orange, and red when they ripen, but you can just pick them right off the plant and eat them like a bell pepper. In my experience, I don't plant a lot of just straight green bell peppers because I don't want to waste that space for a bell pepper plant that I may only get 3 bell peppers on at the end of the season, to where this produces like a hot pepper, but it's sweet. So we slice these. It's very thin walled, so you can't do everything you can with a bell pepper with them, but they are great to just eat raw, and we put them in cooking, stir fry, that kind of stuff they're great for. So I prefer them over standard bell peppers. I do have another pepper variety that I am going to grow this year that I will talk about in a little bit. I probably am not going to have it available for sale. I may, just depending on how it does. I tend to not like to offer varieties available for starts to everybody else unless I've already grown them and I know what the plant is going to do, because if I haven't, I can't tell you about it. So I have quite a few new varieties that I'm trialing this year. So depending on how they come up, how the seedlings do, I may or may not have some if somebody wants to take them, knowing that I have not grown them before. So moving on, shishitos. If you've ever had shishitas at a restaurant, we love these. We eat them all summer long. I've actually even dried these and ground them up and mixed them with hot pepper flakes, and we put them on our pizza. It gives you that nice, great green pepper flavor without actually being a bell pepper. So I will have some of those starts because they're super popular. Anaheims, which are just like a green chili, I will have those available because everybody wants some of those. I will probably have a few, this says Jamaican, but when I grew them last year, they do not look like this picture. It's like a Scotch bonnet, which is what I would think of as a Jamaican type pepper. They produced really well last year. I'm gonna grow them again this year because I want to make some jerk seasoning for our household use out of these. So I will probably have some of those available. These I also grew for myself last year, and I made quite a bit of hot sauce and various things with them. They're called jigsaws. I actually had them on my front porch, so for anybody that drives by my house, these are the big pepper plants that are in the pots on my porch this past summer. The plants got, oh my gosh, probably close to 3 feet tall, maybe not quite 3 feet, but the leaves are super pretty. They're purplish and white and green variegated. As the summer went on and they had got more and more sunlight, they became more and more variegated with the white and yellow tones. So I put them on the front porch because they were just pretty, and I needed something that was going to be height in my planters on the front porch. They did fantastic, so I'm going to grow them again this year. I gave up growing ornamental peppers, which I used to put in my flower pots because they just look pretty. They're hot, but they don't have any flavor. Why would I grow something that doesn't taste good when you can grow one that looks super pretty like this and it's dual purpose? So that's what I'm doing. Okay, moving on. These are also varieties I will have available as plants, but I have not started them yet, so that's why they're in a separate pile. So standard jalapenos, last year I sold out of these, so I'm gonna be sold out of them very early. I had one gentleman come through and want to buy 25 jalapeno plants. I didn't even have 25 left, so I'm gonna be starting a lot more jalapenos this year. Hopefully I will not run out. Sweet banana peppers. These, I love to grow them and eat them. They're not super popular for the starts when I have customers buy them, but like when I lived in Missouri, we used to hollow these out and stuff them with like cheese and onions or even refried beans and then batter them and deep fry them. They're freaking amazing. So I'm trying to bring back the sweet banana pepper. Regular plain, just California Wonder green bell peppers. I get a lot. Everybody wants these. They're great for recipes. Even though, like I talked about the corbachis earlier that produce better, they're not as thick-walled as a green bell pepper, and so certain things you really still need this for recipes, like if you're making jalapeno jelly, that calls for them in the recipe, that type of stuff. I also have a bell pepper mix, so you won't know what color you're getting until they start putting peppers on. It could be yellow, red, purple, orange, you name it. I'm also going to grow a few, they're called nadapenos. So these are jalapenos that are extremely mild, like bell pepper mild, only they have the jalapeno flavor. Surprisingly, I didn't really sell very many of these, but the few people that don't like spice really like them. But most people that buy the jalapeno plants, they want the spicy jalapenos. So those peppers are all going to be available for sale as starts. So I'm going to go through a few others that I've started for myself that I may or may not have available. It just depends on how they perform. This one is, there's no picture. It's called a Japanese Sentaka, which is a Japanese hot pepper variety. Oh, released in 1955, spicy, high yielding, easy to harvest and dry peppers, which is why I'm going to try them, because I'm looking for stuff that I can dry and use in seasoning mixes or preserve for the winter. This one is called a Korean cucumber pepper. There's also not really a picture, but these look like hot peppers, but it says that they are not spicy and used for fresh eating. So I'm going to try those. I can't guarantee they're not going to be spicy because in my experience, you know, spicy is relative. Some they may have kick. People that don't like spice at all may be like, those are spicy, and other people may think they're not spicy. This is another variety of jalapenos. So what am I up to now? I think 4 different varieties of jalapenos. This is called Craig's Grande jalapeno, and it is similar to the ones that you find in a supermarket. They're the larger size. They're great for making jalapeno poppers. My Aunt Evelyn loves these because she makes us jalapeno poppers at every single family event that we host. So I'm definitely growing some for her. Excuse me, I gotta get a drink. Okay, this one is called Phileas Blue. These plants are very tiny, very small pea-shaped peppers. They come in, they're different colors, but I am gonna try planting these in my green stock tower, which I'm going to do a separate video about later. But these have a great flavor. So depending on, they're tricky to get to come up, so I started a lot. So if they all come up, I will have a few available for sale. If they don't all come up, then I'm going to be stingy and nobody else is going to get any because we love to make hot sauce out of these. They are super delicious and they are hot. This is another variety that is very similar to the Phileas Blue. They're hard to get to come up. They're called lemon drop hot peppers, and these make the best lemony hot sauce also. So same scenario. If I have extra plants, I may have a few available. I'm not sure. It just depends on how they go. Last year, I ended up, I think I started 6, and I ended up with 2 actual plants that survived. So I had 2 in my garden, and they performed relatively well, so I was able to actually can a couple jars of the hot sauce. I sent one to my dad. He's probably already drank it. So I'm trying to grow more this year. So we'll see how they do. Okay, these 3 that are left are varieties that I have never grown before. So, well, I take that back. The first one I tried to grow last year. None of them came up. So I'm going to try again this year. They're called Tobago seasoning peppers, and they are great for like seasoning blends and making jerk seasoning, that kind of stuff, which is why I wanted to try them. They have the fruitiness of a habanero, but not quite as spicy. And speaking of habaneros, I have tried to grow habaneros for the last, oh my God, probably 8 years, and habaneros are not my thing. So I am giving up on habaneros and I'm moving on to other varieties to replace them because I really like to make the habanero gold jelly, which has the apricots in it. It's kind of like jalapeno jelly, but it's a little bit different. Super delicious. I'm never successful at growing habaneros, so I'm calling it. Not my thing. Just like spinach. I don't grow spinach anymore because it's not my thing. Okay, moving on. The last 2 that I have. This one is called Pippin's Golden Honey, and Pippin is the name of the man that cultivated this variety, I believe in Pittsburgh? No, Philadelphia. I'm wrong. It actually has it on the package. Philadelphia. So these are supposed to be sweet, little bit of heat. They just were one of those kind of unique specialty things. It's something that I decided to try this year. I have no idea how good they're going to do, so depending on how they do, I may have a few of those for sale. This one is called, let's see if I can say this, Trapadiera. And the reason I purchased this, you can see they're small, like little cherry peppers, but the reason I bought these is because it says they are especially nice when pickled or made into hot sauce. So, love my hot sauce. We go through a lot of hot sauce at our house, and I've got to where I make almost all of it. We don't buy hot sauce that much anymore. I used to buy tons of hot sauce. But once I figured out how easy it is to make and how much better it is at home, like the sky's the limit. So I'm really branching out on hot sauce. Okay, I will have a few eggplants for sale, eggplant plants available for the starts. If anybody wants eggplant, I don't do very many of them because they're not very popular. Eggplant is one of those things that not very many people enjoy it. At my house, I'm really the only one that eats them. So I usually only have 2 or 3 eggplant plants in my garden because nobody else will eat it. There's no point in growing a lot of them. So I do just the standard Black Beauty, which is the typical Italian type eggplant. I love to slice these and just bake them with zucchini and tomatoes with Italian seasoning and cheese on top. Yum. I am also going to go camo, which I have grown for several years. It's K-A-M-O. It is a Asian variety eggplant. I can't remember where it comes. But I have to turn it upside down carefully because I opened the seed packet on the bottom, and if I tip it the other way, the seeds are all going to come out. This is like none of these. It's just like a multi-picture. So they kind of look like this purple one here on the bottom, but they're small, round eggplant. They're only about this big. They are purple with a white shoulder on the top. The thorns are hellacious on this plant. It'll get big, long thorns. So I think that's one reason why they do so good. They're a survivor. I'm also doing a new eggplant that is called Millionaire. It's a Japanese variety, so it's a long, like Thai Asian variety, long and slender, not round. And I usually, in the past, I have grown a couple different Thai varieties that are the long variety, green and purple. I think I did Thai green last year, and I've done purple in the past. This is just a new variety that I haven't tried. It came in a grab bag of seeds, so I didn't pick it out, but I thought it looked great. So those are the peppers and the few eggplants that I'm going to have available. One other thing that I was going to throw out there is because in talking to people, I've had a few requests for random plants like pumpkins or squash, cucumbers. So if there's something specific that you want, I have no problem starting it for you. I just need to know. If it's not something that I'm doing for everyone, I just need to, it needs to be on my radar. Another thing is I'm going to be doing quite a few herbs this year, so I was going to have some herbs available for sale. I have in past years had basil available only to the few longtime customers that requested it, and of course I always grow it for myself. So I have had more requests for basil this year, so I will have more basil available. And one thing that I was thinking about doing, because I went through my basil and I actually made a list of the types of basil that I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different varieties of basil in my seed catalog. I have lettuce leaf, which is exactly what it says. The leaves are this big. It's great for doing like appetizers, rolling up stuff inside of it. Genovese, purple, cardinal, Thai, mammoth, which is just your standard basil, lemon, and lime, 2 separate ones, not lemon lime together. So I'm considering doing like a 4-pack of 4 different types of basil, because I've had a few people ask me for varieties of basil. So I may have some of these available. I'm not sure how many, so if you're interested, drop me a comment or send me a message and let me know that you would be interested so I can know that I need to have more of them. Also, other herbs that I'm going to be doing, if anybody is interested, is mint. I'm going to be starting some mint for myself. Lemongrass I start every year for myself. You have to have a nice hot place, like if you have a patio. It's not going to do good just out in your standard garden. You have to keep it in a pot, but it's amazing. Thyme and oregano. I'm going to try to start dill, but to be honest with you, I have not successfully grown dill since we moved into this house. So I suspect it's the birds, because that's what happens to my lettuce. You know, everything's a learning curve. So I'm going to try to grow dill again. We'll see how it goes. So just a FYI, this size pot, which is a 6-inch pot, is what the tomato and pepper varieties go in. And then I did get some smaller pots this year too. So this is a 4-inch pot for the herbs and maybe some other stuff, you know, cucumber starts, that kind of thing. So that's it. My next live video, I'm going to be going over other things that I'm growing in my garden that I won't have for sale, but just people ask all the time, what are you growing? Anything I can. So I'm going to go over stuff. It changes as the season goes on. I never know exactly what I'm going to be doing. And sometimes I'm cramming stuff in at the last minute because I have changed my mind, and I have already changed my mind a couple times after I've laid out my seed plan. In January, I'm still changing my mind because I will think about something or somebody will bring something up and I go, oh yeah, I grew that last year. I should grow that again. So I do have my lovely organizer that is all sorted by when to start my seeds. And when I say organizer, I mean it's a boot box that I got the hot glue gun out for it. So that will be my next live, is what I'm growing in my garden. If you missed the very beginning of this live, I already did a live on the tomato varieties, which is now posted on my YouTube channel. So if you want to rewatch that and send me a message for tomatoes, it is on YouTube, which is at Main Street Homestead. So I think that's it for now. I am going to be going and working on content for the next YouTube video, which is going to be making our own corned beef, which I've never done before. So I've done a lot of research on it, and we talked about doing it last year, but I ran out of time. This year I looked at corned beef coming up for St. Patrick's Day at the grocery store and about choked when I saw how much they cost. So this year we're gonna learn how to do it. So let me know if you guys have any questions or comments. If you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would appreciate it. Thank you, and see you guys later. Have a great weekend, and we'll be talking soon.